What's up, Rockstars? Today I'm going to be telling you all about some really cool campaigns that are coming up that I've never covered before. And of note, at the very end, I do have what is next for Come On. They have finally made an announcement. I'll be covering that. Now, these board games are going to be awesome. We're going to get into them just a little bit. I've done some research. I'll tell you a little bit about the game too. And of course, everything will be linked down in the description below. I'll have actually like 80 games linked down below. There's going to be like a ton. So feel free to take a look back there. But all of the ones in here are going to be there as well. If you hear anything out of the ordinary, it could be my children. It could be these loud birds. It is a beautiful day. The windows are open. It's very bright. So I'm just going to kind of enjoy filming this. It's kind of a nice experience right next to this window. Nice little breeze coming in. It'd be great. Okay, so starting things out, Sword and Sorcery, Abyssal Legends. This is a big one, and the reason it's big is because, as they say, this is going to be the climax to the Ancient Chronicles and Immortal Souls campaign, so everything has been building up to this one. Now, that's interesting because the Tebruz thing, which I'm assuming is going to be coming out next, like after this, so the next Sword and Sorcery would be the Tebruz system, and the Tebruz system is kind of a digital board, game board that you can play on the tracks where people are, like minis are, what your dice roll is, stuff like that. And then it kind of has like an app that kind of can track all that. So that's coming out later, but I guess it's going to be a whole different campaign. Maybe it'll be a side thing or something. I'm not sure, but very cool to see that. Sword and Sorcery has been around for a long time. I know a lot of people love it. A lot of people have told me I would love it. I've never played. Let me know, seriously, in the comments below, I'll read them. Let me know if this is something you think I should get into. Can you even do this? If it's the climax of the story of these campaigns, can I get into it now, or do I have to go buy the old stuff? How new player friendly is this? Would love to hear your thoughts on that. Additionally, big news here, Heroscape is coming back. If you didn't know, I covered it a lot on this channel. If you're interested in following game news and stuff like that, feel free to subscribe. I do this all the time, quite literally. Heroscape is coming back. They had an Age of Apocalypse or something like that, where they were going to come back. It was a $250 core set. It was on Hasbro Pulse. And they wanted like $1.5 million, $2 million, something like that, raised before they would do it. It did not reach its goal. I think a lot of it was just because it was a $250 box, and it wasn't old player friendly, which is a vast majority of people are very interested in that. So you had to like rebuy a whole bunch of like tiles and stuff like that you may have not wanted. Additionally, they were changing how the miniatures were coming as well, so that was different too. So there was a lot of decision points there. They don't mention this at all. So Renegade Game Studios now is going to be bringing them back. They're going to return with terrain packs, faction boxes, and more, and including future Heroscape World Championships, and what they said is brand new stuff as well. So this will be old stuff, new stuff, a lot here. Will we see what we saw from Hasbro Pulse? I am not sure. I suspect so. You wouldn't get the rights to this and not utilize something that was already done for you, but they might package it in a bit different way, maybe below that $250 threshold. I don't know. That $250 seemed like a lot at the time, but that was also before a lot of this crazy Kickstarter stuff happened as well. We've seen some pretty heavy hitters, and they've done fairly well recently, so it could have just been an early sticker shock kind of thing from us. I would love to know your thoughts on this, on Heroscape, and if you're excited for this, or if you think it'll just be more of the same. Definitely interested in that. Planet Unknown Supermoon. So this is a cool one. Planet Unknown is essentially you have like this picture of your world, and you're laying down these different like Tetris styled things that have different resources, and those allow you to do different actions. And so you're trying to be efficient in how you kind of make your world produce all these resources and let you do all these things. They also have what is essentially a Lazy Susan, where you spin the things around to get it and stuff like that. Kind of fun, kind of gimmicky. Either way, probably enjoyable. The Supermoon's kind of interesting. If you know what Supermoon is, it's when it's closest and it's full moon. If both those happen together, it's a supermoon. It's the biggest the moon can get. And as you can see here in the picture, there's like this planet, and then right next to it is a moon. And actually, they say right here, a new expansion and deluxe edition reprint for Planet Unknown. Develop your planet and your supermoon to and preserve humanity. So you'll kind of have this like moon off to the side that I guess you'll be able to do stuff. And I imagine there's a lot of mechanics interacting with those two things. So very cool. I think it's a smart thing. I like the idea of a deluxe reprint on something like GameFound or Kickstarter. I think it's very smart. Crowdfunding does very, very good when it comes to like just making the fancy collector's box version, right? Where you get all the extra minis or metal coins or this and that, and really just kind of pimp out your board game. So definitely fits that bill, I think. Next up is the Arena of Baradum. This is an easy to play tactical arena brawler for 2 to 6 players. Ages 14 plus, that's just generic, 30 to 60 minute play. They really make a big point on talking about like easy to teach, but then like a tactical still. So it's something that you can just kind of get on the board and play, or get on the game on the table and play, and not focus too much on that, but still have an enjoyable tactical skirmish style type. It's an arena brawler coming out, I think, and it's pegged for October right now. I do have access to the preview page, so let me know if you'd be interested in seeing more on this. They have, I think, 8 different characters right now from several different artists, so they all kind of look a little bit different. And it's been a while since we've had an arena combat game. I think Nexus was probably the last one that I really noticed. Let me know if I missed anything. I think there was a Roman one as well that came up, but that wasn't too big of a campaign. Next up, we have Sirens, the Deep Sea. This is by Forgotten Tales. If you don't remember, Forgotten Tales is the rebranding of the KOA Studios. They did a few different attempts at this other game that they did, and both times it did fail to fund, but they are now moving on to rebranding themselves and trying something a little bit different and new. And as you can see, the artwork, I think, on this one is actually super cool. Like, it looks really nice. This is for, I believe, 2024 is when it will be funding. However, I hear press and people like that are going to be seeing it a little bit more towards the end of 2023. So I'm assuming early 2024. I would say Q1, Q2 if I was going to guess on that. There's a lot that they're talking about here. Some of it's kind of interesting. They're talking about like 3D areas. I don't know if that's like a creative game studio style Chronicles of Drunagor style thing, or if it's something else. They have a free mode, and then you can play through scenarios. It is not a story game. I just had a video about narrative games, so it's good to know that while there's context and purpose, it's not necessarily something that's going to bog you down. So that's kind of neat. Just more heavy theme more than anything else. There's also this idea of streams where like there's different currents that are going through and pushing everything around. Kind of neat, kind of cool. I don't know exactly how that'll be, but you'll be like collecting resources and doing all that. But then you also have to like defeat castles to get like other areas. And then there's the oldest, which are these huge monsters. So it does have miniatures. You do have like mounted combat as well. You can see a mount here. You can see a mount here. So I don't know if you're always on that or not. It does talk about a little bit here, but again, I don't know if there's a version like with and without, and if that changes anything. But either way, I'll definitely be paying more attention to it. The art alone, like just the box, I actually really like the box art here. I think that looks really nice. So definitely kind of interested. I think that, again, having pretty art certainly helps, that's for sure. And it's a little unique idea. Everything's underwater, heavily sculpted bases, right? Stuff like that. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Next up, we have Catacombs 2. Now, this is interesting because there's a 3rd edition Catacombs out. This is not supplanting that. This is different. In fact, quite a bit different. From the same creator. And in fact, they talk about it just very plainly, like, I would like to do this, I would like to do that. They're talking about it being more 1 versus many and card-based, where there will be some element of randomness. It won't just be like a Euro puzzle. It's not a Sudoku puzzle. It's a board game and that style of kind of almost a dungeon crawl thing here. But it will still be using the dexterity game system or the non-dexterity related mechanics. Well, there's probably card only. So interesting to see that. And I'm not sure exactly, how many different, little pucks or whatever it is that you'll be flicking and doing all that stuff with. That's kind of how the original, the 3rd edition is now too, where you're like flicking your guy and doing that. So movement will be different, stuff like that. What I will say about this is it seems, at least right now, and again, I don't even know when this is coming out necessarily, but it seems to me to be very, very loosey-goosey, where the scope itself isn't even really understood. I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to explore this and maybe try this and do something like this, and very high level. So either we're seeing this early or it's going to be kind of an abstract fund my concept, dive into what I actually want to make, as opposed to buying some finished, finalized product. But we'll see. Maybe they'll still develop it. I'll definitely keep you updated on that. But if you read over this, one thing you're going to see is it just seems like it's very early on. Also of note is the art change. This is a very different art style than the 3rd edition currently has, and the editions before it do too. So kind of interesting to see that as well. Now, we also have the Terrain Essentials Volume 3 Exteriors. This is one I'm excited about. The Terrain Essentials is a fantastic thing. Essentially, they do it's 3D printing. It's on the My Manufactory Frontiers. It means you'll get it pretty much right after it launches. You'll get a whole bunch of STLs. You don't have to wait for a long time. It's all in one system. It's kind of GameFound, where you can like launch and then also deliver like on the same thing, where like Pledge Manager style, right? right? So that's also super cool. There's a lot of different companies that will print this for you as well. So even if you don't have a 3D printer, as long as you can buy the STLs from here, you normally can supply them and they'll print those for you. No problem. So that's really huge as well. Definitely cool there. And finally, the thing that everybody's been waiting for, the next Come game. This is going to be huge. This is obviously Monty Python, right? This is that what you would never expect, that the nudge, wink, wink. All of that is alluding to Monty Python theme. Now, is it? I'm assuming just the actual circus show because of the little kind of drawn things there, as opposed to something like Life of Brian or something like that. But we will see. Either way, expect a lot. Now, they've already done Holy Grail several times in Zombicide. So it's interesting to see that also. It says Zombicide 2nd edition. So it's obviously, I'm assuming, more character packs, monsters, stuff like that. That would be my assumption. But either way, they're definitely still doing the IP thing. Of note, they did a ton of IP Zombicide stuff last year, and they didn't make all that much profit. So I'm not sure exactly how much this IP is costing them or how worth it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also, if I missed anything, please let me know. I would love to see what you're looking at, what you're interested in, what you know about. Maybe I can share it with the greater community, and we can all fund it together and enjoy some cool looking games that are coming up. Because there's a ton. This is just the new stuff. There's a ton down in the description below. Feel free to check that out. And on your way down there, click that like button. Guys, thank you so very much. I'll be talking to you guys again very soon with a review, several reviews actually, an unboxing, more news videos, all that coming up to you real soon. Take care, guys. Bye.